he moved into the small apartment at the edge of town during early spring. The building was old but sturdy, made of pale bricks and covered in thick ivy. It had once been a hotel, someone told him, though it no longer carried any of that charm. Now it was quiet, filled with retirees, long-term tenants, and the occasional student. He didn't mind. He had come for the peace. His apartment was on the second floor, facing a narrow garden path. It had only 2 rooms, a bedroom and a living area with a small kitchen. It was enough. He was not looking for excitement, just silence, a place to think and read and maybe write, when he felt brave enough. On the first morning, he opened his door and saw something unexpected on the welcome mat, a single flower. A violet, still fresh with dew. He looked around, puzzled. No one was in the hallway. No note, no explanation. Just the flower. He smiled, picked it up, placed it in a glass of water, and went about his day. A small thing, but it stayed on his mind. The next morning, there was another one. A tulip, soft and pink, laid gently on the same spot. And the next morning, this time a daisy. He started waking earlier, hoping to catch whoever was leaving them. But no matter how early he rose or how quietly he opened the door, the hallway was always empty, and the flower always there. It continued for weeks. Lilacs. Daffodils. Small roses. Sometimes wrapped in paper, sometimes left loose. Always fresh, always different. The little glass on his kitchen table was always full of color. He asked around. The young couple in apartment 4 knew nothing. The old man on the top floor had lived there for years but had no idea. No one admitted to it, and no one else received flowers. Eventually, someone mentioned her. "There's an old woman on the first floor," said the girl who worked at the corner cafe. "She's been here forever. A bit quiet, but sweet. Likes plants." He waited outside her door one afternoon, holding one of the flowers. When she opened it, he saw a short woman with silver hair tied in a braid and deep wrinkles carved into her cheeks like delicate rivers. Her eyes were sharp, though kind. "Did you leave this for me?" he asked gently. She looked at the flower, then at him, and smiled. "Maybe," she said. "Why?" Her voice was soft. "Because someone once did the same for me." She didn't explain further, and he didn't ask more. From then on, they greeted each other each morning. Sometimes she gave him the flower directly. Other times, she left it on the mat like before. He began leaving little thank you notes, written on scraps of paper. Sometimes he'd write a line from a poem, or a word in another language, or even a riddle. She'd never answer them, but once, he noticed a folded origami bird next to the flower. Another day, there was a small chocolate wrapped in gold foil. Seasons changed. Flowers changed too. In summer, they became bright and wild. In autumn, warm and earthy. In winter, small branches with red berries, or dried lavender tied with twine. They never sat for tea, never had long conversations. But their silent exchange became a part of his routine, a ritual that gave his days rhythm and quiet meaning. One day, the flower did not appear. He waited, then went downstairs and knocked gently on her door. There was no answer. That afternoon, a neighbor told him she had been taken to the hospital the night before. Something about her breathing. She was very old, and it was serious. He felt something tighten in his chest. He returned home and sat quietly. For the first time in months, the glass on his kitchen table sat empty. He didn't know what to do, so he wrote her a letter. A real one this time. Not a joke or a poem, but a simple thank you. He folded it and slid it under her door, hoping someone would bring it to her. The next morning, still no flower. The morning after that, still nothing. But on the third morning, he opened the door and found something waiting, a single white camellia, placed carefully on the mat, along with a small envelope. He opened it with trembling hands. Inside was a note in neat, shaky handwriting. I told the nurse to bring you this if I couldn't. You reminded me that small things still matter. Thank you for noticing. She passed away a few days later. He kept that flower longer than any other. Pressed it into a book and placed it on his shelf. The glass vase on the table stayed empty for a while. But then, one morning, he stepped out and left a flower on someone else's mat. No note. No name. Just a small, silent gesture. And the cycle began again. Learning English through stories like this isn't just about words. It's about feeling the rhythm, seeing the emotion, and understanding how little details tell big truths. This story was filled with daily actions, simple past tense, and emotional language you can use in your own writing. Now it's your turn. Think of a small habit, ritual, or surprise that once brought you quiet joy. Try writing about it in English. Use the past tense. Focus on feelings, not just events. Don't worry about being perfect, just be honest. And if this story touched you, subscribe to Speakology. We believe the smallest stories are sometimes the most powerful ways to learn.